Hi guys, so today we're going to be kind of combining all of the conic sections together and identifying them based off of their equation. So here on page 598, you have the standard form of all of your conic sections. So your parabola, your circle, your ellipse, and hyperbola. Note that for your parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola, you have kind of two versions of the standard form based on whether or not it is vertical or horizontally oriented. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. So we're going to start with example 1. It asks us to rewrite the equation of a conic section. We're going to write it in standard form. We're going to state whether the graph of the equation is a parabola, circle, ellipse, or hyperbola, and then we're going to graph the equation. Okay, so let's get started. So here we have x squared plus 4y squared minus 6x minus 7 equals 0. Okay. So then what I'm going to do first is similar to what we've done in our previous lessons, we're going to group our x's and our y's. So I'm going to do x squared and then minus 6x. Okay. And then I'm going to do the plus 4y squared, and then I'm going to move my constant to the other side. Okay. Then I'm going to complete the square here. So taking b, which in this case for the x's is negative 6, divided by 2 is negative 3, and then square it, so that becomes 9. I'm going to add it here. And then since there's nothing here, then I just add the 9 here. Okay. For the y, the square is already completed, right? Because note that there's nothing else that comes with it. Okay. Then I'm going to factor this, so this becomes x minus 3 squared, and plus 4y squared. This equals 16, right? And then here, I can tell it's not a circle, so in that case then for, and it's not a parabola because both of them are squared for x's and for y's. So here I know that it's going to be an ellipse or a hyperbola, an ellipse because it's a plus, so I'm going to divide by 16 on both sides. Okay. And then this gives me x minus 3 squared over 16. And then the 4 over 16 becomes 1/4, so this is y squared over 4 equals 1. Okay? And so this tells me it's an ellipse. Okay? Now I'm going to graph. Okay. So here I know the center is at 3, 0, right? HK. Okay. A is here, it's the bigger one. Square root of 16 is 4, so A equals 4. B equals 2. Right? And then if I wanted the focus, I can find C as well. Okay? But here I have enough to graph it. So center at 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 zeros here. Okay. A here is under the X, so then I'm going to move 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So here's my major axis. And then B is 2, so up 2, down 2 for my center, and then connect. And then I can also find the focus if I wanted and graph those 2 points. Okay. So why don't you try CYP1, and then once you're done, come check your answer. Okay. You should have gotten as your standard form equation x minus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 3 quantity squared equals 16. This is a circle, right? Okay. Because note that it's not subtraction, both of them are squared, and then it's not something different on the bottom. Okay, so that makes it a circle. So then here the center is at 2, 3, the radius is 4, so center 2, 3. Then radius 4, I went up 4, right 4, down 4, left 4, and then I just use my compass to get it, so that way it's a nice looking circle. Okay, so how can we figure out whether it's a parabola, circle, ellipse, or hyperbola without having to change it to standard form or graphing it? Okay, and so that comes into play here with identifying conic sections. So instead of writing the equation in standard form, we can determine what type of conic section it is by looking at what we call A and C. Okay. Okay. Note there can't be an xy term, an x times y term. Okay. So here, basically, we're looking at the coefficient of x squared and the coefficient of y squared. Okay? If it's a parabola, one of them would not be squared. So either we would have a 0 x squared, so we wouldn't have an x squared, or it'd be 0 y squared and we wouldn't have that. But it cannot be both. If it were both, it would just be a line. Okay? So it can't be both. Okay? So it would just be one of them. So basically, it's a parabola if only one of them is squared. Okay? It's a circle if A and C is the same. Okay? Because what that does is instead of making it an ellipse, it makes it even completely. So it's a circle. Okay? An ellipse is if they have the same sign, right? So if they're both positive, right? If they're both adding, okay? But A cannot equal C, right? Because if A equals C, then it would just make it a circle. Okay? So it's A and C have the same sign, they're both positive, or if they're both negative, you would take out the negative for both of them, right? Yeah. Okay? It's going to be a hyperbola if A and C have opposite signs, right? Because it'll be one subtracting the other, whether it's x squared minus y squared or y squared minus x squared. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so now let's try it out. So example 2, without writing the equation in standard form, we're going to state which conic section it is. Okay, so here, note I have y squared and then negative 2x squared. So I know it's not a parabola because they're both squared. Okay, they're not the same, so they're not a circle. And here, because they are opposite signs, this tells me it's a hyperbola. Okay? And then the reason is because A and C have opposite sign. Okay, then looking at the next one. So here I have a 4x squared and I have a 4y squared. Okay? So this would make it a circle. Okay? Because A and C have the same sign. Have same sign and they're equal. A equals C. Right? So if it was an ellipse, A and C would have same sign, but they wouldn't be the same. But because A and C are the same, it rounds it out perfectly, evens it out so that it's a circle. Okay. Okay. Then next one here, I have y squared, but note I don't have any x squared, right? So x is only a linear, right? So then this would make this a parabola. Okay. And the reason why is because there is no x squared term. Or in terms of what the book says, A in this case equals 0. There you go. Okay, so why don't you try CYP 2A, 2B, and 2C and come check your answer when you're done. Okay, so for 2A you should have gotten a circle because A equals C, right, 3 and 3. 2B should be an ellipse because they both have the same sign, they're both positive, however they're not equal. One is 4, the other one is 3. Okay? And for 2C, you should have gotten a parabola, and the reason why is because there is no x squared term, which means that A equals 0. So that's it for today. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.